The transportation industry has changed dramatically over the last decade. What once started as a simple smartphone app that connected passengers with drivers has now become a massive global network of rideshare transportation services. In 2026, working for companies like Uber and Lyft has become more advanced, more competitive, and in many ways more flexible than ever before. Millions of people continue using rideshare driving as a full-time career, part-time income, side hustle, or temporary financial solution while building other goals and businesses. For many people, the attraction is freedom. You are not tied to a strict office schedule. You can often choose when you work, where you work, and how long you want to stay online. Some drivers use rideshare apps to pay bills during difficult times. Others use it to save money for investments, vacations, education, or starting businesses. Some drivers enjoy meeting people from different cultures and backgrounds every day. Others simply appreciate the ability to generate income quickly using a vehicle they already own. But despite how easy it may appear from the outside, becoming a successful rideshare driver in 2026 requires planning, strategy, discipline, and understanding how the modern gig economy works. Many new drivers make mistakes because they assume all they need is a car and a smartphone. In reality, there are many hidden details that determine whether a driver succeeds or struggles financially. The first thing anyone should understand is the difference between traditional employment and gig economy work. Uber and Lyft drivers are generally considered independent contractors in many regions. This means drivers are usually responsible for their own taxes, fuel costs, insurance, maintenance, and financial management. Unlike traditional jobs, taxes are not always automatically withheld from earnings. Drivers must learn how to track expenses, mileage, and income properly throughout the year. Before applying, drivers should carefully evaluate whether their vehicle qualifies for rideshare service. Both Uber and Lyft maintain vehicle requirements that can vary depending on the city, state, or country. In most cases, the vehicle must meet minimum year requirements, pass inspections, and have functioning safety systems. Cleanliness is also extremely important. Passengers today expect modern standards of comfort. Even small details like bad odors, dirty seats, damaged upholstery, or noisy mechanical problems can lead to poor ratings and fewer opportunities. Many drivers in 2026 now prefer hybrid vehicles because fuel efficiency has become one of the biggest factors affecting profitability. Gas prices continue fluctuating worldwide, and every mile driven matters. Cars like the Toyota Prius, Honda Accord Hybrid, Hyundai Elantra Hybrid, and Tesla vehicles are frequently chosen because they help drivers reduce operating expenses. Electric vehicles have also become increasingly popular due to government incentives, lower maintenance costs, and access to rideshare bonuses in some regions. Insurance is another critical topic many people overlook. Personal car insurance does not always fully cover rideshare activities. Drivers often need rideshare endorsement coverage or specialized commercial policies. Understanding insurance is extremely important because accidents can happen unexpectedly. A driver who ignores proper coverage may face serious financial consequences later. The application process itself is usually straightforward. Applicants generally download the driver app, upload documents, pass a background check, and submit vehicle information. The background screening process often examines driving history and criminal records. Safety has become a major priority for rideshare companies in recent years, and standards are stricter than they were a decade ago. Once approved, many new drivers become excited and immediately begin driving without a strategy. This is where mistakes begin. Successful rideshare driving is not simply about staying online all day. It is about understanding timing, location, and demand patterns. Experienced drivers learn that some hours are significantly more profitable than others. Morning commute hours can generate consistent trips near business districts. Airport rides often produce longer distance fares. Weekend nightlife periods may create surge pricing opportunities. Sporting events, concerts, conventions, festivals, and weather conditions can dramatically increase demand. Drivers who learn their city carefully often outperform drivers who simply drive randomly. In 2026, artificial intelligence and predictive algorithms play a larger role than ever in rideshare dispatch systems. Uber and Lyft apps constantly analyze demand, traffic, weather, driver availability, and customer behavior. Drivers who understand how the algorithm behaves can position themselves more strategically. For example, many experienced drivers avoid sitting directly inside overcrowded surge zones because dozens of other drivers may already be waiting waiting there. Instead, they position themselves nearby, anticipating ride requests before competitors flood the area. Knowledge of traffic patterns can also make a major difference. Time wasted in congestion reduces profits significantly. Customer service has become one of the biggest competitive advantages for drivers. Riders today have many transportation choices. A clean car, respectful attitude, smooth driving, and professional communication can lead to higher ratings and more tips. Many passengers remember drivers who create calm and pleasant experiences. Simple actions often matter most. Greeting passengers politely, confirming names before beginning the trip, maintaining safe driving habits, keeping music at reasonable levels, offering charging cables or water in some cases, helping with luggage when appropriate. These details may seem small individually, but together they create better experiences that influence ratings and tips. Ratings are extremely important because both Uber and Lyft monitor driver performance continuously. Drivers with consistently poor ratings may receive warnings or deactivation. In 2026, platform competition means companies prioritize customer satisfaction heavily. Financial discipline separates successful drivers from struggling drivers. One of the biggest mistakes new drivers make is focusing only on gross income rather than net profit. A driver may earn hundreds of dollars in a day, but fail to account for fuel, maintenance, depreciation, taxes, cleaning, and insurance. Vehicle depreciation is especially important. Every mile added to a vehicle reduces its long-term value. Successful drivers calculate cost per mile carefully and understand their true profitability. Many professional rideshare drivers use apps that track mileage and expenses automatically for tax deductions. Taxes can become complicated for gig workers. Drivers often receive tax forms showing annual earnings, but they must also report deductible expenses correctly. Mileage deductions can reduce taxable income substantially. Many drivers choose to consult accountants or tax professionals familiar with gig economy work. Safety is another major concern in the rideshare world. Driving strangers every day creates unpredictable situations. Companies have introduced more safety tools over the years, including emergency assistance buttons, ride tracking, audio recording features in some markets, passenger verification systems, and enhanced background checks. Drivers should always trust their instincts. If a situation feels unsafe, they should prioritize personal safety above completing a ride. Late-night driving presents unique challenges. Intoxicated passengers, aggressive behavior, and unpredictable environments can occur near bars and clubs. Some drivers avoid these hours entirely, while others specialize in them due to higher earnings opportunities. Understanding personal comfort levels is important. Another major topic in 2026 is rideshare competition. The market is more crowded than before. In many cities, there are now more drivers competing for trips. This means drivers must become smarter and more efficient to maintain strong income levels. Some drivers diversify by working for both Uber and Lyft simultaneously, switching between apps depending on demand and bonuses. Bonuses and incentives have become more dynamic over time. Companies often offer temporary promotions during high-demand periods or in areas needing additional drivers. Drivers who monitor incentive structures carefully can increase earnings strategically. Some drivers eventually transition into premium services. Higher-end vehicles may qualify for luxury rideshare categories, airport executive services, or corporate transportation opportunities. These rides often involve higher customer expectations, but can also produce greater earnings. In addition to transporting passengers, many drivers combine rideshare work with delivery services. Food delivery through platforms like Uber Eats, package delivery, grocery delivery, and courier work have become integrated into the gig economy ecosystem. This flexibility allows drivers to remain productive during slower passenger periods. Mental health and physical health are also important subjects that are often ignored. Long hours sitting in traffic can become exhausting. Stress, fatigue, poor sleep, and unhealthy eating habits affect many drivers. Successful long-term drivers learn the importance of scheduling breaks, staying hydrated, stretching regularly, and maintaining healthy routines. Technology inside vehicles has evolved dramatically. Dash cameras are now common among rideshare drivers because they provide evidence during disputes or accidents. Navigation systems continue improving with real-time traffic intelligence. Many drivers also use accessories like phone mounts, charging hubs, seat organizers, and interior lighting to improve efficiency and professionalism. Electric vehicles are expected to continue growing in the rideshare industry. Charging infrastructure has expanded in many cities, and some companies now encourage electric adoption through incentives. However, EV ownership also requires understanding charging times, battery management, and long-term maintenance considerations. One interesting shift in 2026 is the increasing role of subscriptions and rental partnerships. Some drivers no longer own vehicles personally. Instead, they rent approved rideshare vehicles through fleet partnerships or company programs. This can lower entry barriers for people without qualifying cars, though rental costs can reduce profits if not managed carefully. Passengers themselves have also changed over time. Modern riders increasingly value convenience, safety, and personalization. Many customers rely on rideshare apps daily instead of owning vehicles in crowded urban environments. Younger generations especially view transportation differently than previous generations. For many people, transportation is becoming more service-based rather than ownership-based. There are also challenges facing the industry. Driver complaints about compensation, algorithm transparency, and working conditions continue in many regions. Governments worldwide continue debating labor classifications and regulations related to gig economy companies. Some areas have introduced minimum earning protections or additional worker benefits. Despite these debates, rideshare driving remains one of the fastest ways for many people to begin earning income with relatively low barriers to entry. For immigrants, students, part-time workers, retirees, and entrepreneurs, it continues providing flexibility that traditional jobs often cannot offer. One of the most important lessons for new drivers is understanding that rideshare driving should be treated like a business, not just casual driving. Tracking income, controlling expenses, understanding market patterns, maintaining professionalism, and protecting physical and financial health are essential for long-term success. Many people begin rideshare driving temporarily and eventually discover opportunities beyond simply driving passengers. Some move into fleet ownership, vehicle rentals, content creation about gig economy work, consulting, or transportation-related businesses. Others use rideshare income to fund completely different careers or investments. The transportation world is evolving rapidly, and rideshare companies are evolving with it. Artificial intelligence, autonomous driving technology, electric vehicles, and advanced logistics systems are changing how people move around cities. Drivers entering the industry in 2026 are stepping into a transportation ecosystem far more advanced than what existed only a few years ago. Driverless transportation services and the future of taxi work. One of the biggest questions surrounding the future of transportation is the rise of autonomous vehicles, commonly called driverless cars. What once sounded like science fiction is now becoming reality in several cities around the world. Companies such as Waymo, Tesla, Cruise, and Baidu have invested billions of dollars into self-driving transportation systems. In some cities, passengers can already order autonomous rides without human drivers behind the wheel. Supporters of autonomous transportation argue that driverless systems may eventually reduce accidents caused by human error. Machines do not become distracted, intoxicated, tired, or emotional while driving. Autonomous systems also promise more efficient traffic flow, lower transportation costs, and expanded mobility for elderly or disabled individuals who cannot drive themselves. Some experts believe autonomous rideshare systems could eventually operate 24 hours a day with minimal interruption. This could dramatically lower operational costs for transportation companies. In theory, transportation may become cheaper and more accessible for millions of people. However, there are also major concerns. One of the biggest fears involves job displacement. Millions of people worldwide work as taxi drivers, truck drivers, delivery drivers, or rideshare operators. If autonomous systems eventually dominate transportation, many workers may lose important income opportunities. Another concern is technology reliability. Even advanced artificial intelligence systems can experience software failures, sensor problems, hacking risks, or confusion during unusual road situations. Severe weather conditions, construction zones, unpredictable pedestrians, and emergency situations still challenge autonomous systems. There are also ethical and legal questions. If a driverless car causes an accident, who becomes responsible? The passenger, the software company, the vehicle manufacturer? Governments and legal systems continue struggling to define accountability in autonomous transportation. Traditional taxi industries may also face increasing pressure. Autonomous systems could reduce labor costs dramatically, making transportation services cheaper and more competitive. However, human drivers may still maintain advantages in customer service, emotional intelligence, safety judgment, and adaptability in unpredictable environments. Some people may simply prefer human interaction. Others may distrust fully autonomous systems for many years. This means human drivers will likely continue playing important roles during the transition period, especially in complex urban environments. The future may not involve a complete replacement of human drivers overnight. Instead, transportation may gradually evolve into a mixed ecosystem where autonomous vehicles, rideshare drivers, public transportation, and traditional taxi services coexist together. Conclusion: looking toward the future of transportation. Transportation is entering one of the most transformative periods in modern history. Electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, app-based mobility, and smart city technology are reshaping how people travel every day. For people interested in working with Uber or Lyft in 2026, the opportunity still exists, but success now requires strategy, professionalism, and adaptability. The rideshare industry is no longer simply about driving from point A to point B. It is becoming part of a larger technological ecosystem that continues evolving rapidly. The drivers who succeed in the future will likely be those who embrace technology, understand customer experience, manage finances intelligently, and adapt to changing transportation trends. At the same time, society will continue debating how automation should coexist with human employment and public safety. Whether transportation eventually becomes fully autonomous or remains a partnership between humans and machines, one thing is certain: the way people move around the world will continue changing faster than ever before. And for millions of people, understanding these changes today may open opportunities for income, entrepreneurship, flexibility, and participation in the future economy itself. The future may not involve a complete replacement of human drivers overnight. Instead, transportation may gradually evolve into a mixed ecosystem where autonomous vehicles, rideshare drivers, public transportation, and traditional taxi services coexist together.